Hey y'all, what's going on? It's Hump Day Wednesday. Hey, what's good? What's good? What's good? What's good with y'all today? Well, of course, y'all know we've come in to have some real talk. Um, we have some real talk today. Just coming in to see what's going on with you guys. Hoping everybody is having an amazing.
You could be needing to weather through or celebrating all the amazing things you might be celebrating. What's up, Nicholas? And just hoping everybody's having an overall good week so far. You know, life be life and be happening. Just got to keep on trying to thug our way through it. As y'all know, I'm busy trying to get ready for Saturday. And waiting for my people to come in to my co-hosts. But yeah, just getting ready for Saturday, trying to get this stuff together and make sure everything is everything. I hope to see y'all out there. A lot of y'all RSVP'd. I'm so excited to see some people I have not seen in a long time, and just fellowship with you guys and have a little bit of fun. Definitely excited to have everyone in the building. And thank you all who did follow the instructions. Though not hard, but you know us colored folks. we don't wanna we don't wanna never follow no instructions. You at work, Nick, well don't be working too hard. I guess where you at today? Because school is out, so you ain't at school, you must be at the hospice place. Yeah, that's taxing you emotionally, mentally, and spiritually within yourself, child. Kudos to you for being able to do that. I remember when I was in my 20s, I used to want to do that. But as you grow and get older and you see more things, I'm like, I'm too emotionally attached. That's why I don't do nurses aid anymore or any of that. Because my last client, he passed, child. I ended up in the hospital with him. God bless his soul. He in the morgue and I'm in the ER in the hallway waiting for him. I just took it bad. We had gotten really close, and it's not like I hadn't been around death a lot. I mean, I had, but that was just like, I think it was all the extenuating circumstances around his situation, and I think that really all of that played a part in it too. Which some of his situation was parallel to some of my trauma. So when he left here, it left me messed all the way up. Okay, so that's where you at. I'm accepting y'all. Y'all know how the people do up in here. So I'm hoping it'll let y'all in because I'm definitely accepting it. Okay, I'll let one of y'all in. Hey, lady. Okay, y'all both in. All right, I don't know. You know how it be doing. How you guys, ladies, doing today? How your day been? What's good with y'all?
Good, just getting off work.
Yeah, all of us.
Right.
Me busting the traffic to get home. Now that rain. But I'll be grateful every day I make it. I really do. I just get to my parking lot and say thank you, God. You know, because Virginia within itself is high rated because these folks drive like they got
Don't know how to
somewhere to be
drive.
and nowhere to be all at the same time. Because, and I say that to say, you driving like you got somewhere to be, but the way you driving, you ain't gonna make it, so you ain't gonna be going nowhere. So you driving like, you got somewhere and nowhere to be at the same time. But yeah, just crazy out here. But yeah, y'all. So what's good? Tell me about y'all week. What's been going on?
Nothing. Work. I'm on my I'm on my work from home days now, so it's all good.
Mm-hmm.
Life is good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What about you, Mo?
Same old, working.
Mm-hmm.
Working. A
Your
bit
hair?
stressful day, but
Hmm.
thank you. Stressful day, but I'm here.
Girl, I get it. I done broke down all the way from work, and the car kept speeding up beside me because I was in my car broke down. Hey, and we driving, and I think after a while they was kind of looking like, "Is this woman over in here broke down?" And I was just like trying to hold the steering wheel, wiping, and they was looking like, "What the world is wrong?" I wouldn't even look their direction. I see them looking. I just is like, I can't, because if I look at you, I'm a wreck. So let me mind my business. You mind yours. You saw somebody cry. But yeah, it's just been, close to my aunt, my godmom, my favorite auntie. Just with all that's going on positive in my life, you she was an author as well, but unpublished. And she has two books that's I know you don't know Zaza, but Chocolate Butterfly Mo knows that that was her wish. And actually the day that she had passed, I had already talked to my publisher about publishing her book, and we already had put a small down payment. And I literally hung up with her, and I got the call that my aunt had passed. So I don't know, her daughter, I had asked her to find the book so that we could get it published. All royalties would go to her. I don't know what happened with that. She just one day was like, never mind. And so it is what it is. But I always talk to my aunt and say, it ain't on me. I know what your dream was. You had two dreams. That was to get your treats. She used to make these homemade organic treats way back in the 90s before anybody even went that way. And they were like, we would make it with fresh pineapple, dates. Girl, when I tell you them things was good, oh my God. And she would cut them up in squares, and she tried to get them in different little grocery stores. She never, those two things she always wanted was her two books published, and that her treats went out. Peg legs, that was the name of them. And so I tried to make her dream come true, but I'm not the daughter. I'm just the niece / goddaughter. So today was just a day. I was like, I know everything going on. First of all, her book would already been out, but I know that she would be definitely happy about what I'm doing, because as I stated in the book, in the part 1, she always saw me. She always saw me like my gifts, like without me ever saying anything. Like she always saw me, and she was always my biggest cheerleader. So losing her was a big hit to me. And her birthday is in a few days, so I guess I was coming home listening to 100.5 the vibe. I told Tone, shout out to Tone Hollywood. I said, you got me in my feelings all day today, and I'm mad at you. You owe me. You owe me. You got me all in my feelings today. But it was listening to an old song. My aunt could really, really sing, but she wouldn't really like sing, but she will for us. And I was just like, dang. When that song came on, I was like trying to keep it together because it's done. And then it was earlier this morning on my way to work. It was, y'all know, my friends, my close friends, Patti LaBelle, If Only You Knew. If y'all already know something happened to me, y'all better play that at my service, at the repast, everywhere. Y'all better get the loudest concert speakers and play that. Because that song has all from a kid. That song has pulled at my whole soul. And so it's volumes to that song. So I definitely heard that early, and I was broke down on my way to work. I was like, and I don't even know why that. But yeah, it'd be one of them days. So I get it, y'all. I get it. I get it. I get it. And then sometimes we just have to have a good cry. They call it tears of cleansing. Sometimes that's the only release we can get to relieve some stress. Either that, or sometimes slap somebody, and you don't want to go to jail, so you might also just go ahead and cry it out. Cry it out.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Go say something. Cry it out. Cry it out. Yep. So what's we getting into today? I'm ready. I need this.
Our first topic here. I finally got access. Finally got it up. So not really a question for a friend, but just a question that one of us received, and we were all tagged in. And it's, what's the difference between someone that was raised off of love and someone that was raised off of survival?
It's good. That pegged me. That was a good one because that's a deep question for so many levels and dimensions for the times that we live in right now. Like, what's the difference between the two? And I was raised off of both. So what do you do with me? You know what I mean? What would y'all say the difference y'all feel is? Just from your experience that you ever dated somebody who you know came from the real trenches? You know what I mean? Like, mom might have been on drugs, might not have knew father. They just had to get it like they get it. You know what I mean? Like, survival, take care of their siblings while their mom or whoever the adult is doing whatever they do due to an addiction or just due to not being present. So, like, if any of y'all ever dealt with anything like that or dated anyone like that or just knows, or you, I mean, you
I
know.
mean, my husband, both his parents were dead by the time he was 16. So he's had to live off of survival most of his life. He turned out into a pretty good person. We met young. Well, he was young. I wasn't. But I mean, you can see it sometimes in him, and sometimes he can be a little selfish, and that's that survival mode, looking out just for just himself, because he spent so many years having to do that, just first of all to stay out of the system, because he didn't get put into any
Mm-hmm.
type of foster care, so the streets raised him, you know. And then to come into my world where, my parents, I didn't grow up like, I mean, I had an
Yeah.
excellent childhood. My parents were loving. I had everything and anything I wanted.
Yeah.
Two
Yeah.
very different lifestyles uh,
Mm-hmm.
came together, and we still together, like I said, for 11 years. But it's there have been a lot of, of this sometimes, because I tend to be selfish sometimes, and that's that survival mode that I know. I have to remember he didn't grow up with two parents. He had loving parents, but they were. I mean, his dad was dead by the time he was like 7 or 8, and then his mom died on New Year's Eve when he was 16. She literally went to a party and died on the dance floor.
Uh,
Yeah, and I mean, he's pretty. He's pretty. He turned out pretty good. If somebody could go on down the wrong path, he had every opportunity to do so. Especially,
mm-hmm.
I mean, raising yourself, going just living from house to house to house to house to house, and not having no permanent home. Just think about it. He really didn't get stability until he got with me at 25. So that's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of years of just out there on the streets, just trying to look out for yourself. Like, people saying you can stay with
Mm-hmm.
them, and then all of a sudden they want your money because they know you got a couple dollars, or don't touch this, don't eat that, don't do that. And you can see it in his son. I mean, his son doesn't have the same situation, but Mo, his situation, and he definitely lives off survival. And me and him butt heads a lot because he's still in that mode, and he doesn't understand that we're there for you. You have people there now.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to do this on your own. Be a child.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but he just hasn't been put in that place that much that he could just be a child.
Mm-hmm. 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 What about you, Mo?
Mm, well, I mean, I wasn't raised like that. You know, I I wasn't raised in survival mode or anything like that. I do know that I do know some close people that do operate like that. Specifically, my big brother, my god brother, he's like really, I, I mean, it's weird to me because he's in survival mode. He was raised in survival mode. He grew up in a broken home. His parents were like pimps and prostitutes, you know what I'm saying? And uh, it was a lot of incest going on in the home and sexual abuse, mental abuse, physical abuse, uh, you know, from family members. So they were, put into foster care, and, he had to pretty much fend for himself. Him and his brother, him and his brother mostly on their own. They were in and out of foster homes and foster care, and then they were abused in those homes as well. So, and then, you know, his only escape was he joined the military. But in him joining the military, he had a whole bunch of just trauma that he was dealing with on a regular basis, and, struggle with suicide and suicidal thoughts and trying to attempt suicide. And if it, he got into, he found Jesus basically, and now he's like heavily, you know what I'm saying, like heavily like a holy roller. You want to call a holy roller? Yes, holy roller. And everything is that to him. And he pours so much into that.
Balance. He needs balance.
Yeah, he pours so much into that relationships, you know what I'm saying? His relationships fail. He's been married a few times, and now, on the end of another, divorce or whatever. And it's just a lot of stuff going on. And it's like when I see people like that who I know for certain have lived their whole lives on survival mode and not out of a love mode, that their love is a little bit different. The love that they've learned is a little bit different, and it's hard for us who did grow up with love or in a loving home. It's hard for us to understand how they can be the way that they are, but you do understand it to a certain degree, because they love hard, but they love hard the way they think it is. And so
Mm-hmm.
they want things to be a certain way because they're trying hard to fight against whatever past that they're trying to erase or
Mm-hmm.
push through.
Their inner war.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. And not really healing, because a lot of people don't really heal from their past trauma. They just try to move forward
Elevated.
and and
Mm-hmm.
and and go through it. They just try to press on and pick up in the now instead of taking the time. And I think that people really need to take the time out, because I mean, although I grew up in a loving home, it's things that I've experienced and I've dealt with in my lifetime, as an adult, that caused trauma to me, and that I try to push through. And up until recently here, the last couple of years since my mom's passing, which brought about a lot of unresolved issues and things that I didn't even realize was there, because you put those things in the background and you kind of put them in a box, and
Mm-hmm.
you shut that box and you throw it away and you don't think about it.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times I feel like people really need to take time and they really need to heal themselves and they need to deal with those past traumas
Mm-hmm.
seriously, like, and wholeheartedly. Don't, you can't get mad at a person because someone tries to give you advice and tell you, hey, you need to take a step back and, really be okay with you as a person. Take time. Don't keep jumping in and out of relationships because that's not healthy. Because if you keep jumping in and out of relationships and then those relationships are ending and not in a good way, you, you know, in a bad way, so that's more trauma that you're putting on top of trauma that you already have, and you're not really dealing with it. It's like you're digging yourself into a deeper ditch.
So it's like they become more damaged, and then they also leaving other people with residue of their damaged goods. So now they got to do some extra healing because you didn't put in the work to heal yourself. And that work is not, oh my God, child, years,
Right.
years. You
Takes
have to
it
put
takes a
in
minute.
the
It
work.
takes a minute to deal with that stuff.
Years.
That
I'm
trauma
still
is
in my healing
right.
journey. It takes,
Right.
it
It
takes,
takes right. And you can't, like, I always say, take time out. Especially, like, I know people say, oh, I don't need to take time out. Yes, you do. You need to take time out to get to know you and to know to understand what was wrong in those past relationships. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes, even if you feel like you weren't the person that caused the demise of it, it may be something that you did that you might not
attributed.
even know that you did to that person, that might have been a trauma for them, or a past trauma for them that came about, and you might have stirred something up in them which caused their reaction to be the way it was. So again, you have to take time out just to cleanse your aura, just to cleanse yourself from all the extra baggage that you've been dealing with from past relationships. Because especially if if you're being intimate with that person or whatever, because those bonds and those soul ties are real. Like, you really do, take on other people's stuff, whether you know it or not.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
especially if you're an empath or you're an empathetic person, you get a lot, like, being, you know what I'm saying, being one myself, we take on a lot of stuff, and it's hard sometimes to separate the two. You can take on a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people's stress and a lot of people's whatever bad energy, whatever you want to call it,
Mm-hmm.
not even knowing,
Right.
like, you sometimes we don't even realize that we done took on somebody else's stuff. We could be sitting here and
Their
all of a
characteristics
sudden,
sometimes.
right, all of a sudden you snapping out on somebody, or you crying out the blue and trying to figure out, well, what the heck is going on with me? It's other people's stuff that's coming on you. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like, not to quit, not to be so quick to jump in and out of relationships like that, because especially if it was a hurtful relationship and it didn't end well, you need to figure out what happened and why that happened. And especially if you are the common denominator in that situation, you got to figure out, hey, what is it about me
What
that keeps
part did I
attracting,
play?
right, what part in me, or what is it that I'm doing that keeps attracting these same like spirits, or whatever. Sometimes it's like that, but people, and then the people, they especially if you on survival mode, it's like, I'm doing this. I got to do this. This is what I need to do. If it don't go this way, it's not gonna be right. And that might not even be the case. You know what I'm saying? but it's I mean, I don't know. It's hard, and it's hard to try to help someone like that sometimes because they gotta want it for themselves. And if they don't want it for themselves, you can't force them, to see it. You just gotta tell them and let them see it in their own time, basically. I don't know.
So I was gonna say, not even just in relationships, overall, dealing with people in friendships, business,
Yeah,
acquaintanceship, partnership,
everything.
like they and everything, like across the board, dealing with someone who is based on survival, because even if, okay, so if you're doing business with somebody and you was raised off of doing stuff and working together and unity, and this person off of survival, they want to hide some money over here because, I don't know if the business really gonna work, and if it ain't work, I gotta make sure I'm good. You gotta know how to work with these type of people, and in love the best that you can. But a lot of times, because their abnormalities are normal to them. Their dysfunctionalism
Yeah,
is functionalism to them.
yeah, yeah.
So a lot of times when you come, and not that the ones who operate in love are perfect or don't have any
Right,
dysfunction. I'm
right.
saying our places, as I say, what does your heart say?
Hmm.
Our heart attitude, our initial motive or heart in behind the first thought was not, okay, I got to do this because if I don't do this, it's not going to work out for me and everything's going to bad and I got to survive. Our initial thought of those who operate out of love is, how can I assist you? How can I help you
Yeah,
be better? How
yeah,
can we partner up to
yeah.
shine like the brightest sun?
Right.
Whereas a person in survival, they in it, but they like, I got to make sure this happen for me. I got to make sure this is my cut. I got to make sure this how this going to go down. Blah, 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 blah. But the other person over here like, okay, well, I think we need to spend a little money, make some money. I think we might need to give something. What y'all giving something for? Y'all need to be giving. You know what I mean? They don't operate in love. It's off of survival and off of comfortability and off of familiarity, where they feel like this is foreign. I don't trust it because they operate in a need to know, and I gotta know situation. And it's hard because I've been both. I was raised off of survival and love. Love because I know that I didn't feel love, but I know my mom loves me. But being in abusive relationships and you staying there, you know what I mean? And then me being abused behind choices you made was like, I don't like neither one of y'all. You know what I mean? So it became a thing where I had to sleep a certain way and do a certain thing. So when I was sharing with my oldest son, when old girl went on her tangent, and I was talking to my oldest son about it, he was like, "Really? Like she did all that?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "I can't believe, because he called her auntie would do that." I said, "Well, yeah, believe it." And I was saying, so this is why I sleep with my door closed. This is sometimes why you might wake up and be like, "Mom, why in the middle of the night your door locked?" I was like, it's still, in some parts of me, I'm still in survival. That's why I'm asleep, but I'll sit straight up and be like, what is going on? Why is that, who moving? Because I was raised on love and survival. And it was times in my younger years that, yeah, I was definitely selfish as far as I'm going, and I think I am now, but just in a different way because I understand now. I'm gonna protect me. Now I've always been, oh, I'm gonna protect me. So I think sometimes I was selfish a lot of ways because I wouldn't let people in. I wouldn't let you get too close to me. You could only get but so far unless you was like a AA one. You somebody new. You got that. Mm, mm. I'm gonna sit back and watch you. You, him, her, whoever. I'm gonna watch you. And so it wasn't. Then once I got to know you, then I could operate in love towards you. But before that, nah, it was about survival. So I don't know what you about, what you doing, because I need to see, so
Yeah,
I get it.
definitely.
And she posed an amazing question because I know, especially in a relationship, it has to definitely be hard. But on all levels, I know that it's hard to deal with. And a lot
of the comments were like, you know, dealing with a person that's selfish, that's survival, they don't do nothing but look out, what you said, look out for themselves, and they don't care nothing about you for real. And I was just like, dang. Like, and I had to do, you know, when I suffered, you know, y'all know I checked me first. I was like, I know I used to be survival and love. I was like, man, did I ever just really just be all out for me? But I personally don't ever recall just being totally all out for me. I was usually all out for me and whoever I was riding with, because when you was the new one, I'm who are you? You know, and if we got to make a showdown, it's going to go down, you know, so that's just what it was. So, I think a lot of times, they don't want to believe that they have these characteristics. You know, people who are survivors or live off of survival characteristics. I think they don't believe that they are in denial, total denial,
Yes,
that they carry these things.
yes, definitely,
You
definitely.
know,
And
so, and it
they
almost
believe that
throws them
they're
off into
healed,
narcissism.
and they do believe that they're healed, and a lot of times they don't feel like they do anything wrong.
That part.
There a lot of times they feel like, oh, everybody doing something to me, I ain't doing nothing wrong. I'm no, you gotta step back, because you gotta think about it. Who the common denominator in all the scenarios, where it be friendship, relationship, uh, business, whatever. The common
Mm-hmm.
denominator is you. And if the same thing keeps happening to you,
Yeah.
if the same thing keeps happening to you, then there is something going on with you that you need to deal with. Because that it's like God is trying to show you and teach you a lesson in that struggle, but you keep failing it. You keep failing it. You keep failing the test. Like, you keep going through it. Like, you going through the test, right? You get through it and you thought you passed it because you got out of it. But
Right.
at the end of the day, you failed it because you didn't learn anything from it. And
Right.
if you don't learn and grow from it, then what exactly was the purpose of it? So you're gonna have to repeat the cycle again. It may not come in that same package, but it's gonna be something similar to it.
Mm-hmm.
It may evolve into something else, or something even bigger than what the previous situation was. But until you actually learn the lesson that's being taught in that situation, you're going to continue to keep going through the same cycles, because you're not learning from it and growing from it. You just going through it like, oh, whatever, it's gone. I ain't got to worry about that no more. But trust and believe it's going to come back up in some shape, form, or fashion.
Yeah, you have to deal with it. You have to start cutting away at the root. Another thing that I do recognize that I did do, though, definitely a lot in my younger, um, that's why I'm so big on it now, and I don't play that, because if I had to put in the work, oh, you gonna put in the work. But it was always everybody else's fault, you know, and that's
Yeah.
one thing that people who offer survival, they don't want to really own nothing. It's always something somebody else did. You stubbed your toe, or you left your shoe in the middle of the floor on the left side of the room, and I was trying to avoid, and I hit my toe. You would have put them damn shoes away. Bruh, them shoes is way over there, man. Them shoes, you know,
Right.
it's
If you
always
hadn't walked
somebody.
over there on that side and would have walked straight, then you wouldn't have hit the shoe. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Right,
come on now. Yeah,
right.
it's like that.
But I,
It be
but I,
like
but
that.
I was that person. I used to be that person, and especially like really, man, in my 20s, like that ain't my fault till the Holy Spirit started having to deal with me. It was everybody else's fault, but I had so much trauma, never dealt with, didn't even have a beginning to know how to deal with it. Because church always made you band-aid everything with just God. And we need God and some more stuff. God and some work. God and some faith and some work, you know, that you gotta put in to healing you. And so,
So I
by us just
tell
saying
him,
this, about
I tell him that all the time, but he's so into that. Like, he tell you everything you need. Okay, but are you taking heed of what it is? Like, you can tell somebody something like you.
I
It's
was
like this. Some people can be so book smart.
no
Some
common
people,
sense.
exactly. So you have no common operational sense. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's like you so busy reading about this or studying this,
Are you
but
applying? Where's
right,
the
but
application?
you can tell me, because like you can give people good advice, like you can give everybody sound advice, wonderful advice, but if that person looks at your life and the advice you're giving them, and they look at your life and see that your life is in shambles, and you're the same thing that you're telling them that they need to do, you're not applying it to your daily life. How can a person listen to you or take your advice when you're not even leading by example? And that's my whole thing with people like that. You have to lead by example. You can't expect somebody to want to listen to you or take your advice about something, and you out here, you know what I'm saying, just toe up from the floor up, but you trying to tell me how I could not be in that situation. But why were you in that situation? Like, why are you in that situation? You understand?
Mhm.
Like, not even past, like presently. Like, come
Mhm.
on, like, seriously, you have to take a step back. And like, it's always, well, I didn't do anything. I didn't. Are you sure you didn't do anything? Because if this situation keeps happening to you over and over again, that you had to have done something, whether you know it or not. You had to have done something to cause. Because it's
It-
always a cause. It's
and
always a
it's
cause.
something that you contributed or attributed. And this is true. And we can even go back to even with the book and the interview, which y'all seen the snippet of it when he asked me, which I never knew what the questions are going to be posed. So he said, what was my lowest point? And at the time, I'm like, gee, there's three I could think of. But the one that kept coming to mind was the situation on Hunt Drive. And I could look back at that. I'm not saying none of that was right. It was wrong as two left
Woo,
shoes. It was wrong as how they wouldn't give blind
woo,
Bartimaeus no doggone offering.
woo,
But
child.
I can say that that what I contributed to it was listening to people who were old. They was old, older women and stuff. Girl, don't give them none. And even though at that point he wasn't on punishment, he clearly, I was waiting in the room. But what I'm saying is, there was times that there was months that like no, you know what I mean. And then due to my trauma, it was kind of easy. Like no, I don't know, I don't want you, I don't want to. You know what I mean? But you grow up and you like can't do you can't do that. You know what I mean? It's like a man. You can't be withholding your wife and think she ain't about to. Man, please. Eventually, So I can own that. I can own that. I would go months, in the beginning of our marriage, like nope, because such and such wasn't my way, and it wasn't right, and those was my selfish days, and nope, nope, and so. Even though it happened later down, I could look at how you can start the road. You might have branched off the road and went somewhere else, but that
Mm-hmm.
seed was still put in the ground. You know what I mean? For it to go any other way. But you got to remember the part you paved in it, because at the end of the day, I started, and even though I had stopped it, hey, no telling how long people's minds be wandering. You know what I mean? Or how
Hey,
long
Rob.
that even was a thing.
Rob said what he missed. We're just talking about
Hey,
what's the difference between someone operating out of love or out of survival?
Versus out of survival. Yep.
Versus,
But then
versus out of survival.
love can be dangerous too.
Yep.
Somebody operating out of love can have good intentions. It could be a horrible person, and the way they show love is not.
This is true.
Dude. And I had that too. I have a permanent spinal injury to remind me of that love that I deal with every day. And I know he loved my dirty draws. I could not take a bath for a month and he still loved my ass. But his mind wasn't right. You know what I mean?
It wasn't healthy. It wasn't healthy.
It wasn't healthy at all.
It was his way of love. We can't even say if that was love.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
That's how he did love.
Yeah.
Like Nicholas' first play, How You Do Love, and it was about the different types of love that people have and how we see love and view love and opinionate love. And we need to do that one again too, because that was a really good message. But anyway, yeah, that's how he did love. For whatever reason, he seen it or he knew it, or I don't know. But yeah, you know,
yeah,
that was unhealthy love.
yeah, that's a doozy too. When it be that unhealthy, psychotic, violent love, that right there, obsessive. Let me say, obsessive love,
Yes.
obsessive.
Watch that movie. If I Can't, it's on Tubi. Perfect example of, I mean, you can tell this man loved her to death, but he loved her to death.
Right.
I won't tell you what it is. You got to see it. You got to see it. It's just an example of a toxic love. So even people operating out of love can still be as dangerous as somebody operating off of survival.
But we have to wonder, is they operating out of love or out of codependency? Because we can't keep calling that dysfunctionalism no love.
Yeah, that's not love, though. That's not the true definition of love, though. So we can't even call it that, because that ain't even love, though.
Yes.
Because
so it's like
sometimes sometimes some people have abandonment issues and they have to be with someone. They just have to. They cannot be alone. Right. They are just that codependent. They cannot be alone. They don't like being alone. They can't be alone. They feel like they have to be with someone. It has to be that way, or it's that way, or it can't be anyway, and in that codependency, that's not good either, because then it turns toxic at the end of the day. It turned toxic.
Love is an intense feeling of deep affection.
Right.
That's love. So deep affection can turn violent.
Yeah, that's that toxicity.
Yeah.
I've been both places. I've been the receiver of some crazy stuff, and I have been that person. So
yeah, I have to.
And nobody, no. When you look at certain parts, you'd be like, and then when you look back who it was, and you see that they doing today, you be like, what in the heck?
Okay, you looking like, why did I even? You're like, ew, why? Ew.
But was
like TD Jake said, you used to so in love with him, and now you just realizing he looked like a pit bull. Girl, when TD Jakes preached that years ago, I was like, he is right though. And you was crying and going crazy and didn't want to live over that. Now you look at him, he looked like he always looked like a pit bull. And you was thinking he was so fine. I was crying. I don't even remember what servant or what his many thousands, but child, that was hilarious to me. He ain't lying. Said
Man,
he ain't looking like
people, if I get one more notification,
but so I just know that it's relationships are hard enough. And when we come into them, we have to be honest of what we're doing, who we are, what we've dealt with, so that we all have a right to choose what we want to deal with.
right.
And then if you come in the situations, do some work before you come bringing all that
Mm-hmm.
Please, please.
before you come bleeding or you hemorrhaging and bleeding out on everybody. Do
Right.
some self work. You have to own your stuff. Sometimes everybody is not going to continue to tell you the same thing, and everybody lying. And you got people that never knew you before in life to tell you. Some people that know you all your life. Then some people who just got to know you. Like everybody's not going to pick up that same energy
Mhm.
about you, and everybody lying. Now, come on.
Right.
Everybody's not lying. People don't even know
Right.
you. Caucasian people, Indian people, deaf people signing to you, and you still acting
Still talk about
like,
it ain't me, it's them. No,
right,
it's
you
you.
gotta check you. That's where that thing comes from, mirror ministry for me, because I had to do a lot of mirror ministry. Like, no, check you. And I give thanks to Joyce Myers, on her book Beauty for Ashes. That was the first time I ever took a real look at me, you of me, of wow, that book was me. I mean, I'm being honest. I'm being like laying in the bed, reading the book, and I'm getting mad. I can't blame nobody else because it's me and God, and I'm mad at God. It's his fault. No, this ain't me. Holy Spirit said, yes, it is. No, it's not. I don't act like. I mean, this time I'm talking out loud because me and God do that. No, that's not, because I don't act like that. Yes, you do. No, I don't. And then you go, because Joyce talk about how she used to argue with her husband. Now, I love her because I swear to God, she is me, but Caucasian, with hair that's short, and she just country. I swear to y'all, but some of the stuff, her personality, other than what her father did to her, which was horrible, other than that part of her story, how she was with her husband due to her trauma. So, oh my God, I related. She resonated with me so much. She would just be all mad and then be done told him off, and then be mad because she told him off, because she knows she wrong for telling him off, but she ain't gonna let her cry because it's his fault. She would go in the bathroom and just cry, be mad at God because she didn't act it up, because he was supposed to stop her from acting up because she really tried not to act up. Like, that was me, and so she resonated with me so much. But it was her book, Beauty for Ashes. So anybody ever, doing self-love, self-journey, that is a very good book to read, Beauty for Ashes. And it just talks about how ugly we don't want to own that we are. So that book made me do mirror ministry. And through the whole book, I was like, ugh. And at the end, I received that was who I was, and I needed to put it in the work. And by the traumas and the PSTD and the damage, you got to take bits and pieces of that stuff and work on it. You might get over one something and master that, and then you realize you got some more trauma, or some more areas that are dysfunctional that you need to work on. So it's a lifetime journey. So for anybody that ever think they're going to be a believer or get on even a Buddha path, or any other religion or walk you want to walk, you got to put work in all of it, and you got to own your weaknesses in all of it, and you got to come face to face with the mirror with all of it. You can't just think that it's all going to be hunky-dory on no path you take. If you even choose to be an atheist and make that bed in hell, you still gonna come have face to face with the devil, and you still gonna come face to face with you.
Right.
It don't matter. So we were here to do certain things, and we're definitely here to do some self-work to heal ourselves. Because yes, a lot of stuff that we are or who have turned into or have become are not we didn't come out of our mama's womb like, yeah, I want to be a crack addict. Yeah, I want to be a narcissist. Yeah, I want to be an abuser. Yeah, I want to be, nobody comes out like that. A lot of the stuff is learned behavior or survival. And I still learned behavior because you learned how to survive by doing this. So I feel like we all have to put
in work. I don't care who you are, what you look like, how far, how much money you got, where you trying to go. You have to put in the work. You have to. And the work is not easy work. The work is not easy work. Whoever in the church years ago lied and said when you came you're supposed to be perfect, is they some liars. They some liars, and they did lie, and they need to stop. The church is supposed to be for those who ain't
and the
got it
truth
together.
ain't in them. And the truth ain't in them.
And so people who don't go because they telling you to be perfect and they wrong as two left shoes. They preaching a good game from behind the pulpit, but going home being a whole different person, slapping their wife, cussing them out, whatever, and then come back and try to tell you some commandments that they can't even keep. So at the end of the day, you have to do the self-work. You have to look at you and realize what is wrong with you. And it is okay that something is wrong with you. There's something wrong with all 6 billion people on this goddamn planet. Rather they hide it, own it, got somebody being a cover for it. It exists.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to do the work. We got to do the work. We got to do the work. And you got to do the work because these things eventually form us, and they will form us into adults, older adults, and then old adults if you don't deal with it. Why would you want to have the assumption of having to go to hell, but you living in the hell that you're creating for yourself every day because you won't put in the work for you?
Mm-hmm.
It makes zero sense. It makes zero sense. Yes, we all have a way we have to survive. Some of us have to survive harder and stronger than others, but you have to come to a place that comes from within on the inside of you that says, I'm going to trust if it ain't but this one person. Start somewhere, because a lot of the dysfunctionalism with that survival is fear. The root of that is fear. Fear I'm gonna die. Fear I'm not gonna be fed. Fear I'm gonna be homeless. Fear they ain't gonna like me. Fear they ain't gonna love me. Fear I'm gonna lose everything. Then I'm gonna be by myself. It's all fear. It's fear based. It's fear connected. It's fear joined. And so we have a place where we act out of fear, and then that fear turns into toxicity. Now everybody messed up, all because you wouldn't fess up. I got some problems. I got to deal with this. You know, I can remember, in my first marriage when I finally read the book and allowed myself to be dealt with, it would be times that, I would listen to Karen Clark Shearer's song, I think for 3 months straight. That was one of my deliverance songs, Just For Me. I had to first accept love. That's your first step to learning how to get out of the survival. Learn to accept love. Learn to accept the fact that you are worthy of the love. We say this to women all the time, and we get it a little bit more because we're born nurturers. But for men, learn to say, I am worthy of the love. I am worthy of the love. Because that was the first step. That song, Just For Me, he came down because he loved me just for me. Oh, he did it just for me. That song, he would come home. I remember the first couple of times, what was wrong? I'm in the floor, half naked, in our living room, just stretched out, crying, broken. Just broken. They had really nothing to do with him. It did because it was after that incident, but it was broken pieces before that. That just triggered it. That trauma just released every, male figure who could have hurt me to hurt me. So it just like opened up a Pandora box and it trickled out. But I would lay on the floor and I would just listen to that song on repeat all day because I didn't work at that time. I was just home. So it was like my healing. Like I would lay and I remember how I felt, how I would cry, and then I would get up, and after I cried, I felt lighter. And each time that God just said, well, turn it on, I would sit by myself. I started on the couch rocking and I'm crying. Next thing you know, I'm back on the floor.
After a while, he just got used to it. Okay, this is what laid out prostrate me. Because what was the first times he was like, "What is wrong? Is you okay?" I couldn't even talk because I was just so, but I was dealing with me. And he would show me different parts of my life where he had been with me the whole time, even in the damnable things. So that was my healing, but I had to be real with me. I had to read a book, find out, girl, you is lying to you, and you was a piece of work, honey, a piece of work. So you gonna need to work on you. And when I began to do that, I could be here today to genuinely love people. But if I would have in my 20s, girl, if I had stayed there, I would have probably been in prison. I'm not gonna lie to you because of the temper. I would have been. Child, please. I'd have probably been in jail. I'd have been in jail. Probably did a bid. Probably would have never went back but I would have probably did a bid because I needed to work on me. If I'd have kept going around saying it was everybody else's fault, those are the ones that it's easy to pull a trigger and lay each other out in these streets because it's everybody else's fault.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Was there another one?
No, that's all.
What? How y'all feel about this Miss Carlie Russell hoax
She lied.
prank abduction?
Girl, I don't even know what you was talking about. You see me hit you back. Who?
She lied because her internet searches
Who?
already.
What? Y'all better. First
Okay,
of all,
let me
y'all need to
go
get
back.
something.
Pause.
Everybody don't know. I don't know what the heck y'all talking
Okay,
about.
so
I know
the
a Carlie.
25-year-old young lady who called 911 off the highway and said that she saw a toddler walking on the highway and she pulled
Oh,
over to get the
that's the
child
one that Roxy called me about.
yeah,
Oh, I didn't know her name. Go ahead. I'm
and
sorry.
and she pulled over talking about she saw a toddler on the road, which didn't make sense from the get-go to me because all these cars driving on the highway and nobody saw this child. You the only person out the blue. You the only person on the whole highway. You the only person on the whole highway that saw a child out there. Okay, anywho, at first I was like, well, maybe she was spazzing out or something and she was smoking something and she. Okay, well, anywho, they done mysteriously 48 hours later she come walking in her parents' home out the blue.
She going to jail.
Yeah, and
She going
whoever
to jail.
else helped her is going to jail too.
Yeah, because she acted like someone abducted.
So, and y'all still ain't explaining. So, what happened
Okay,
after
She
the
was on the
talk?
okay,
phone.
I ain't finished yet. So in the process of her calling 911, saying that there's a toddler out on the side of the highway,
And she hung
then
up
she
on
calls
them.
her,
Remember, she hung up on 911 to call her
yeah,
sister.
she hung up, called her sister. I guess she was trying to get her story together. She was trying to get her story together to make sure other people was in, to make sure that everybody was on one accord. Okay. Call her sister. She talked to her sister on the phone, and then her sister said she heard her talk, get out, scream, get out the car, but she didn't. She heard her asking the child, what you doing out here? But she ain't hear the child say nothing. Okay, and then she screamed, and the phone gone. So by the time the police got there, her phone was left. Some of her belongings were left in the vehicle. Her purse, her phone was left, and her Apple Watch was left there at the scene. No signs of a toddler nowhere. No signs of her nowhere. Somebody said they saw a gray vehicle pull up, and she missing. Look, she got the whole damn country praying for her. GoFundMe's. Oh, the wig too, Robert. Oh, and the wig.
Yeah, don't forget the wig.
And
She
the
got the
wig was
wig
in the
too.
car. And
Yeah, that's what
listen,
I heard. I heard about a wig.
and listen, and she and nobody seen no toddler or nothing. Ain't heard or seen nothing. They got footage. They got footage of the it looked like they got footage of the car pulling up to pick her up or whatever. But it's blurry, so you can't really figure it out. Anywho, then there was a tip that came in about the Red Roof Inn. They went to the Red Roof Inn and they didn't find her there. But 48 hours later, you come traipsing, walking to your parents' house.
So is she trying to teach her parents a lesson? Is she mad? Is she not getting enough
I don't think
attention?
it has anything to do with her parents because it's either relationship wise or her trying to get attention or what have you. Now the police talking about they done checked her Google history on her phone. She looking up she looking up abduction stuff to try to concoct some darn story. Right. Yeah, she wasn't beat up or nothing. Right. And
Robert said so stupid.
And I'm just saying, like, you got people, they done raised like $80,000 in the GoFundMe because listen, the Crime Stoppers got involved.
Well, hell, I'm alive and I'm trying to do good shit. Can somebody please give me a GoFund for $80,000? I promise I'm putting everybody on. I'm not losing no money.
I'm just saying, like, certain organizations donated money to help find her on top of the money that Crime Stoppers put in, because Crime Stoppers give you that $5.
I want to slap the hell out of her because now we already ain't protected. Now you really ain't gonna have us protected with your simple behind.
That part. It's women getting abducted every day, and they not finding them and not knowing where they are for years and years and years and not finding them. Right. And you out here concocting a damn story. Then you gonna talk about you seen a toddler on the side of the road. Girl, you for attention, really? You got the whole world. And her story was on the internet, blowing up for the last, since it happened, and they raised all that money for her, GoFundMe and all this type of stuff. And now you sitting up here. I knew it was something when I seen her parents. Listen, when I seen her parents on that interview, and her mama was doing all the talking and her daddy looking stupid like, yeah, she was fighting for her life. Yeah, how y'all in on it too? Y'all in on it too, for all I'm concerned.
And we black stories don't hardly ever get national attention.
No,
and for her,
no, they don't. They don't.
Know what I'm saying? Like, who's gonna take us serious now? Thank you for taking us back.
Yeah, that's what I said, Robert. She would have been better off lying, saying she got abducted by a damn UFO. Exactly.
Yes. Then she could have walked home, and she'd have been fine.
Right.
I am crying. Well, yeah, because those are.
I keep getting notifications. I keep getting notifications. That's why I keep looking at my phone, because I'm like, what in the hell? Girl, you need to go to jail, and whoever else was helping you, that y'all need to go to jail. Throw them under the jail. That's a federal offense, ain't it?
Yes.
That's federal time, ain't
that became a federal case. Girl, ain't nobody got this to do, bruh. Girl, I don't know. When you were sending me that, I was like, I know somebody
involved. So yeah, she's got a federal case.
Right. That's what I'm saying, girl. You out here got people looking for you for real. Like, it was really people looking for you.
And got your family
bringing up people who kids really is missing, daughters is missing, trauma. They reliving that again, because every time somebody get kidnapped, you relive it. You know, whatever your trauma is, you see something familiar, you're going to be triggered. Like you done triggered a whole bunch.
The one young lady whose daughter was missing that they didn't find alive was helping them. And you know what kind of trauma that brought up in her. She over here helping, trying to console y'all and help y'all. And your daughter out here lying.
Lying and testifying.
Girl, listen, I'm just like, what in the...
Girl, I didn't know who you was talking about. I was like, I know somebody by both them names separately, but not together.
Look, shade room on right now. Shade room on right now. The lot list.
4 p.m. At this time, we will play the 911 call in its entirety.
Yeah, play that.
You're on Interstate 459, and there's just a being walking by themselves. I'm right next to the exit 10 by the Pepper Bank, like you don't have to connect. Okay, so you're before the exit? Yes. Okay, were you headed southbound or northbound? Okay, and was the child on the left or right side? On the right side. Were they walking northbound or southbound? They're walking towards Tuscaloosa. Walking southbound. Or how old is they look?
Yeah.
Like a like maybe like 3 or 4. Did you pull over with them? Are you still with them? Yes. Okay, are you with the child right now? No, I'm not. I didn't get out of the car. I can see them though. Do you mind staying and keep an eye on them the way you're saying? Yeah, sure, yeah. Okay, what kind of car are you in? I'm in a red Mercedes Benz. Is it a sedan or SUV? SUV. I mean, it's a sedan. Sorry. Yeah, they're on. Okay. Did you talk to the child at all, or did you say anything to them? No. Okay. No. Did they request their insurance? No, they don't. Are they white bucket sending their insurance? They're white. Okay.
Jesus, I'm tired.
Is it a male or female? I think it's a boy, a little boy. Right now, okay. So is he wearing clothes? Yes. Okay. What is he wearing?
She done had
White t-shirt, and it doesn't look like he has any pants on. It looks like a diaper. You don't see any cars anywhere? No cars anywhere.
You see a taller 3 or 4-year-old walking out with a white t-shirt on with no pants
My name is Carlie.
with a what?
A t-shirt on and a diaper.
And you don't see any injuries on the shop from where you're at, correct? No.
And a pamper on.
Okay, try to keep an eye on them for the best they can, because I don't want you to lose track of them. Okay. All right, and do they have shoes on? No, not that I can see. I can't really see that. Look.
She done TikToked it, the whole storyline.
I'm on the way, okay? Just try to stay, keep an eye on them, but the officers are on the way, okay? Okay, thanks. Thank you.
Carlie communicated on her cell phone with individuals known to her while on her path of travel up to the point of calling 911 at 9:34 p.m. And at this time, we will play the 911 call in its entirety.
Okay, that's it. That's all they was playing was a 911 call. Now, baby, listen. What? What? You? I can't even. First of all, she was a little too calm on the 911 call in the first doggone place.
Seemed like she was making up the story as she was going.
Right.
Went from
And
having
then
clothes
you
on to a diaper.
Then look, when they told her to describe what kind of vehicle she in, she talking about in a red Mercedes. Is it an SUV? Yeah, it's an SUV. And they was like, oh no, it's not an SUV. It's a sedan. Girl, you don't know what kind of car you got.
A sedan Mercedes?
Yes.
Oh, I want one of them. How much them going for?
Talking about they grab you, but you left your wig, iPhone, and watch.
A black woman leaving that.
Here
You
it
better take my wig with you.
Zaza.
I know.
Here it goes.
Very cute.
Yeah, you did good on those.
Hey.
I was with her when she bought the stuff. I'm like, you did that with that?
But I'm trying to.
She just said,
Yo, how can sane people try to understand insanity? When is that ever going to work?
I don't know. We ain't never gonna get it.
I don't know. I don't get it. I don't know, but I guess we'll hear why eventually. If she gonna go to jail for that. Lying, making a false police report, wasting
Right?
taxpayers'
Yeah, she gonna.
dollars,
She got.
lying and slandering the toddler with a t-shirt and a pamper on.
but you know, they send white women to jail for that. So, baby, you going to jail.
Yeah, she going to jail. She definitely going to jail.
And do not collect $200.
Okay, do not pass go or collect them cash.
Well, I don't know, y'all. We gotta take seriously that mental health is real out here. And in our community, we have denied it for too long. That girl probably been showing signs of mental health, and they wasn't hearing
Yeah,
her or seeing her. Like, girl, that's just how she is.
yeah. I'm
I just think that
I'm thinking it has to be something going on mentally for her to do that. It has.
yeah, like was she trying to
Oh,
make somebody miss her? Was she that codependent in a relationship that maybe she broke up? Because remember the oh, you said the Tanya Brady. What did you say, Rob? The Tanya. What was that one about? I think I know what that is.
Who?
Tanya
Robert.
Bradley. Yeah.
Let me go back to it.
Because I was trying to think, is that the one where the girl had?
Oh, to Wanda Bradley's story.
I don't know. It's a couple stories from
Let
back in the day where
me Google it
I
real
think she,
quick.
I think she faked her death or something because her boyfriend broke up with. I don't know. It's so
woman from New
much.
York who gained notoriety in '87 at age 15 when she accused 4 white men of kidnapping and raping her over a 4-day period. On November 28, Bradley was found in a trash bag after having been missing for 4 days from her home. She had racial slurs written on her body and was covered in feces. Bradley accused 4 white men of having raped her. The charges received widespread national attention in part because of the appalling condition in which she had been left, her young age, and professional status as a person she accused of the crime, including police officers and a prosecuting attorney. Bradley's advisors, Al Sharpton and them, also helped in bringing the case national attention. After hearing evidence, a grand jury concluded on October that Bradley had not been a victim of a forcible sexual assault and that she herself may have created the appearance of such an attack. The prosecutor, whom Bradley had accused as being one of her assailants, later successfully sued her and the 3 advisors for defamation. She received considerable support from the African American community. Some academics have suggested that Bradley was victimized by bias that had credited racial stereotypes.
Well, how'd she get in a garbage bag though? She can't put her own ass in a garbage bag.
They saying that she did it herself. They did a sexual assault.
How you gonna put yourself in a garbage
A
bag?
sexual assault kit was administered, and police began building a case. She provided no names or descriptions of her assailants, but later told others that There had been no rape, only other kinds of sexual abuse. Forensic tests found no evidence that a sexual assault of any kind had occurred. There was no evidence of exposure to elements, which would have been expected in a victim held for several days in woods at a time when the temperature dropped below freezing at night.
Well, how she get in the bag? That's all I want.
She could have put herself in the bag.
Yeah, you can put yourself in a garbage bag and then poop on yourself.
You're right.
And then she wrote, "Hey."
Look, just like old girl from A Thin Line Between Love and Hate. How she get them bruises on her?
Look. Different. You can beat yourself, put yourself in a garbage bag. I don't know.
And all the racial slurs were written on her torso with charcoal.
So somebody helped her.
And she was lying in a garbage bag. So she wasn't like dipped up. She was lying, just lying in it.
So I cannot with these folks.
I can't. Said a garbage can?
No, the bag.
Well, no, this bag, so he said it was a can.
You
can the can?
The old
she jumped in the can. She jumped in the can and knocked it up, and it fell over, and she was just laying there like this.
But New York in November, late November, it's cold outside. If you was outside for 4 days, you should have some frostbite. You should have something wrong with you.
I just don't understand what the whole point is. Now, see, that's somebody that sound like they operating out of survival.
Right.
All of them. They operating out of survival. Because something that ain't out of love, that's definitely out of survival.
Well, she definitely accused the police and the prosecuting attorney of doing it to her.
They must have did something to her or something. Y'all, mental health is real. That's all I can say. It's real.
Yeah. See, it has to be something mentally wrong with her. Cause I just can't believe but again, like I said, when I saw
he killed himself.
Who?
One of the officers she accused of raping her.
Oh wow.
Oh, it was a dumpster, and they found DNA under her fingernails where she played with herself. So she traumatized her own stuff.
So she tried to rape herself, make it look like she thought she was in there to look like rape.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's mental health.
Yeah. At its finest.
Yeah, because if you rub feces on yourself, you got to have that. Got to be mental health.
Right.
Y'all, we got to do better. That's all I can say. And those who need to put in the work for you. Show up for you. Don't make it about nobody else. Don't make it about, I want to get better for my man. I want to get better for my girl. Or even I want to get better for my kids. Make it, I want to be better for myself. Because you live within yourself. Nobody else lives with you, be in your head, deal with you, lie with you, cry with you, stay with you. You are with you everywhere you go. So you cannot be codependent on people. And you can't depend on people. People are just not dependable.
That part.
So I don't even know what to say. But T.I. Tall, I just thank you for your question that you posted up. And it was a very good and opposing question. Love versus survival. What's that difference? difference. The difference is they trying to survive. That's all they know. Love is not a factor. Love is not a stimulation. Love is not motivation for them. It is, how am I going to survive? And it is rooted by fear. It's rooted because of fear of whatever happened to them. You know, me sleeping in my car, you know, and living in my car with my kids. Definitely, if somebody get to talking about homeless, and that's a trigger for me, huh? What? You know, you liable to catch a whole meltdown because I lived it, and that's a trauma for me.
Right.
But you know, survival. You know, and each person got their own. You got to, and like I said again, people got to be honest about the stage and the state of life, mental health, emotionally, mentally, spiritually health you're in, and physically. Shoot, what health you're in before you dealing with people on any level, not just always booed up love. I'm talking about all types of friendships, acquaintanceships, business partnerships, whatever, relationships of all standards. Let people know the real and the raw, you know, because we all come from our own walks of life. We got our own triggers. We got our own little quirks. We got our own little pet peeves. Let people know so they know what they could deal with, and they know whether they want to work with you, be your friend, hang out, you know, whatever or not. Give people choices. You know,
Right. That part.
I'm in a stage, I'm not pumping or prying. No one. I did that. I had that stage in my life. I went through those phases. Boo, bye. Ain't got it to do. You love me or you don't. You fake or you phony. You real or you not. Like, I don't have time for it. I'm not begging you. Love is what love does. And love shows up. Love is kind. Love is giving. Love is forgiving. Love doesn't just love the way I think you need to be loved. Love finds the way you like to be loved. And I'm going to love you outside of people who think getting a behind beat is love. I'm not beating you up, you know, but stuff like that. But love, genuine love. I mean, show me the way you want to be loved, you know.
Definitely. Definitely.
And that's just
Definitely.
what it is. That's what it is, y'all. Zaza, you ain't got nothing else to say.
No, just if you can't do nothing for nobody else, just be kind.
Yep. And keep showing up for you. And the best way that you can show up for you is if you know you got emotional or mental health, go get the help. If you need a good therapist, a good Black female therapist, DM me. I'll give you my therapist number. She's supposed to be coming to my book signing. I'm so excited for that.
And if you're here in my area, I have one as well.
Hit us up. If you in a 254 or the 757, hit us up. I have an amazing therapist. I do.
Definitely.
And because it's real out here. We can't do all of this by ourselves. Quit trying to be a she-ro and heroes. Y'all, we are one person wearing many hats, doing many amazing things. But everybody needs balance. Everybody needs our outlet. Even the therapist has a therapist. Even the psychologist has a therapist. You sit up,
Right.
you gonna listen to everybody's stuff every day, and you think that ain't gonna affect your mental health? Or sometimes when you sitting up trying to counsel your own people, you see some of you and some of the stuff you're trying to help them with, like, I like me. You know,
Right.
so we got to be real. We got to be, my first woman conference, we got to be real in order to heal. You got to be real in order to heal. Period.
Definitely.
You got to be real with you. Own your issues. We got them. They might be issues or itch used. But whatever that is, deal with it. It ain't pretty. You could be the baddest female, the most finest, buffest, in the world. But if you got issues, nobody, after a while, that stuff fade. Or nobody cared that you was cute. You didn't get on everybody's nerves with your mental health. So nobody looking at that muscle, nobody looking at that fat butt, ain't nobody looking at that. They want to help see your fat butt walk on out the door, and they want to see all the muscles wave bye-bye because they get tired of dealing with it. You have to own your stuff. Good night to you too, Rob.
Good
Love you,
night,
buddy.
Rob.
And thank you for tuning in. Tell Mom we say hi. We still praying for her.
I know. Give her our love.
So just definitely know that you got to put in the work. We got to put in the work. Everybody has some narcissism in them. Everyone has the capability of being that. But it's about you making choices. Period. You know,
This don't
and
make no sense.
just got to do it.
Do you see
With
this?
the sun.
Do you
Well,
see
I
this?
will.
Yeah.
Can you send some our way? Because we got tornado watches and flood
Do you
watches. And
see
blast
this?
It's hot.
Mm-hmm. Shine a light on you. Yeah. Blow the whistle.
Sure. It's 100. It was 106 degrees outside today. Not.
Oh, girl, I remember driving around Colleen in that heat with my legs up on the dashboard with my sundress on.
Look, that was just the temperature, not the heat index.
Girl, but that's the walk around half nothing on, child, and go to the Daiquiri Express.
Yeah, Daiquiri Express still here.
I know. When I was down there, did I have Diddy take me? I did, but they were closed. I was mad. I was like, ooh, I want to get the
Hey, they closed the bar. They closed the beer barn down.
Oh, I wanted me the Texas Tornado.
Oh,
I used to drink
start looking
them
like what
too.
y'all talking about? It's a drive-through daiquiri place that you can go. Yeah, and
Well, I
get your
always get inside.
get your daiquiri and drive off with it.
What?
I don't know why they put the straw on there and put the tape across it like you ain't gonna pop that straw off that thing and sip it while you driving. But yeah,
Girl, I always went in, and that was my me time when I was
two of them.
drinking.
It's two of them now. One on the Harker Heights side where it was the original, and then
that's all I know.
And then the new one over on South. Oh, did they change the name? It's still South Fort Hood Street to me.
Oh.
You know they changed the name to Fort Cavazos.
No.
Yeah.
I would have never knew nothing about none of that. Well,
yeah, they
I know.
changed the name. It's no longer Fort Hood. Now it's Fort Cavazos.
Huh?
It's no longer Fort Hood. It's Fort Cavazos.
Fort Hood is no longer named Fort Hood?
Correct.
Why? Who the
because
hell is
Cavazos? It's a Hispanic general, whatever. Because
ladies, keeping it real, stay blessed and amazing as you guys are. Okay, babe, I'll see you Saturday. Thank you.
Because they're trying to get rid of all of the racist names and ties to whatever military installations that there are. And Fort Hood, I guess, is the first one that they decided to change the name.
Who the hell is that person? Because at least the hood represented exactly what Fort Hood are.
It was
it did not.
It represented the hood.
No, that's not what it represented, girl.
No, I'm being funny because to us, that's what we always, because who was there? Who was all there?
Yeah.
Us. But I'm just saying that was our joke, that was for hood. And that's what we used to go, walk away, why would I? I got too much love for my, yeah, that used to be the song we used to make when we lived down there. Well, what did it represent? Who was hood?
It was Confederate. It was a Confederate base. Like, I don't know which general was there, but one of the racist ones.
Okay, well.
Put it that way.
Well,
And Cavazos, his name is Richard Cavazos. He's a 4-star general. That
is he Spanish or
yeah.
something? Because that sound like Cavassier.
No. He was he's from Texas. He's actually from Texas, but he's a Texas native who he served in the Korean and Vietnam Wars.
How they vote that to be his name?
Because they gave us a listing of names that they were going to change it to, and that's the one that they picked.
That's so crazy to have to call that for
the John Bell Hood dude, he was the Confederate that was out there, you know how they had racist stuff going on, and another reason why they changed the name as well, because that whole what's her name, Vanessa Guillen, them Mexicans was out here protesting every day about her missing. And then,
the girl.
Yeah, and then when Brother Man decided to bash her head in, and then go hide it with his white girlfriend, and yeah.
Wow.
So
that's the one that was pregnant, right?
Who?
Was that the one that? Okay, because it was 3 different incidents with this killing on there.
No,
so I didn't know.
She was the little young soldier that the dude supposedly one of her NCOs, black dude, lured her into the arms room, and then he bashed her head in, and then he stuffed her in the locker in the tough box, and went and got his girlfriend, and they took her out.
But what wasn't they messing around or something? It was because I get them all. It was 3 different stories. So I mean not 3 different stories.
I can't say that they were messing around per se.
It might be the other story. I get them all mixed up.
That was part of it. I can't say that they were messing around in particular, but she knew of him doing something, and I guess she was gonna tell, and he was just like, "You ain't gonna ruin my career," you know what I'm saying? Blah 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 blah. And so
you ruined your own career. Now you're ruining your own career.
So yeah.
But
he did anyway. He gone too. He's deceased.
Didn't he kill himself?
I don't think he killed himself, but yeah.
Oh, okay. But I be trying to, because I know it was 3 different females that was attacked, and one missing, one dead, one was attacked. I was just trying to remember all of the stories together, child. They're all traumatic. But it's a cruel world we in, so we got to put in the work. That's all I could keep saying. And it's not easy. But if I can still be working on me, those of you who got my books, y'all could work on y'all.
Definitely.
Anyway,
that's it.
That's all I wanted to say, you guys. Just keep showing up for you. Work on your mental health. Tell people what it is. Give them a choice to deal with you or not deal with you. And most importantly, put in the work. Own your stuff. It ain't everybody else's fault, y'all. We gotta own our stuff. We gotta start saying, what part did I play in my own demise? It could be ignoring red flags. It could be you just keep trying to, not look in the mirror, not be in silence, not deal with you, You always got to have the TV on and a lot of noise because you don't want to deal with you. But when you in the silent moments like we got right now, you can hear you. You can hear from you. You can deal with your demons. My kids will say all the time, "Ma, you ain't watched TV in 3 or 4 months. You just in this room in total silence." I learned how to deal with me now, and I'm okay with me. But when I still had chaos and trauma that I didn't want to face or deal with and keep stuffing stuff, yeah, I wanted a lot of music. I wanted a lot of people around, something to distract me from having to do the work. You'll never get done that way. You have to put in the work. Well, anyway, I want y'all to have an amazing week. For y'all that's coming out on Saturday, I look forward to seeing you. My publisher will be here. Yay. Just Jay, the book plug. She's going to have amazing offers. We'll have y'all some debit cards, some credit cards, something on hand. If you are looking to be a published author as myself, she's going to be in the building with some amazing offers. And some knockoff prices. I think she's doing like up to 70 or 80% off of her price. So y'all, and for that day, so y'all better snap up, snap in, pop up, pop in, do something to come and be ready, being ready to have an amazing time. Zaza, I'll look for you Friday.
I know.
And, and
Wish I
I'll
could
look
be
for you.
there. I wish I could be there.
Well,
You know I'll be there with you in spirit.
yes, you need to
And
get
I'm
your butt
proud of
here.
you and I love you.
Thank you, and I love you too. But you're supposed to be coming here, so we need to get that on the road.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're gonna do for my birthday this year, but I wanted to go on a cruise. Me and Zaza was talking, but we'll figure it out and we'll talk about it outside of here. But
Okay,
I
okay.
just wanted you guys to make sure that you guys stay safe. Work on you. Keep showing up for you. Be the light in somebody else's darkness, because we never know when it's our turn, when our night is going to be. And as my homegirl said, be kind. You can't do nothing else. Be kind. Y'all have an amazing week. Wow. See y'all on Saturday. And listen,
Sunday.
as the interview is done, I will be shooting y'all the link. Everybody, well, they asking me about that interview.
Please
Y'all
do.
like that little snippet?
Please do.
That
Mm-hmm.
like that Mr. Mark LeVar Fit. He did the interview for his podcast, and I'm so honored to have had him ask me to want to do it. Like I'm glad. I'm excited. So that being said, I hope to see y'all Saturday. All right, 222.
All
Later.
right.
Later, y'all. Peace out.